This Coast to Coast Entertainment Network program is brought to you by Beside Me Bracelets. Our bracelets are handmade for any occasion. Use the promo code Coast to Coast for 15% off. Visit their website at besideme.com. Suzanne's Paparazzi Jewelry. With 24-hour shopping available, use the code 160920 and show her some love, like she showed us. Reaper Apparel Company, a commitment to live your most authentic way every single day. Visit reaperapparelco.com for more information and a look at all of their apparel offerings. And by Good Day Embroidery, your local source for custom embroidery, screen printing, and more. Log on to gooddayembroidery.com for more information.
Hello and welcome everybody to another episode of Entertainment Hour here on the Coast to Coast Entertainment Network. I am Dragon Viper and the host for tonight, and I have two co-hosts tonight, which is shocking, but hey, glad everybody's here. I got Crispy Bacon on my left top. How are you doing, Chris?
I'm doing good. Glad to be on, and I think it's going to be a fun show.
Yeah, I believe so. And then we have James on, well, I guess it'd be my right up, top. How you doing, James?
What's your names again?
What?
It's been so long since I've been here. It feels better now. I've been missing it.
So, all right, and good to see you again on here. So anyway, as we always like to start off, going to talk about some shows on this network. So, Chris, can you go ahead and do that?
Yeah, so Entertainment Hours tonight. We'll have On Deck tomorrow. Sunday we'll have Between the Ropes, talking, the latest in wrestling. You also have C2C at night with James and Callan. Tuesday or Wednesday you'll have Big B and Tim show, C2C Rankum. And then I think coming up you'll have another interview with the St. Paul Bears head coach. Big B will have that, I think, Wednesday. And just stay with Coast to Coast for all of our shows.
All right, thank you for that, Chris. And I just want to say that Between the Ropes, you might end up starting to see Dragon Viper, run around again. So we'll have to see. I bet Brandon will definitely love that one. All right, and we're gonna do things a little differently because of the fact that it has been a few weeks since we've last been on. And so I did want to point out some notable, deaths of celebrities that had passed away. And, there's been several. I didn't even realize some of these until I started looking it up, finding out exactly who did pass away. So, I've got Pope Francis. He was 88 years old, died from stroke and irreversible heart failure. And some of these people you guys may know, may not. We have Priscilla Pointer. She passed away at 100 years old. She's the one that played on the show Dallas, and she was the mother on the original Carrie movie. And of course, 100 years old, how else is somebody going to pass away but natural causes? So I do have that. We have Wink Martindale. He was a host, most notable for Tic Tac Doe and Trivial Pursuit. His real name is actually Winston Conrad Martindale. So I actually thought it was Wink, but no, that's just a nickname that was given. He passed away on the 15th at 91 years old. And I guess he passed away from lymphoma, which he had had for over a year. Um, and then, of course, I have Jay North, which Chris did post on the group on our chat, stating about Jay North. He was the original uh, Dennis from Dennis the Menace. He, from 1959 to 63. So he was the original. Passed away at 73 years old from colon cancer. Um, and then we have, and I don't know if you guys, I know James might, but the group Blondie and the Ramones.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah.
The drummer for them, Clem Burke or Elvis Ramone, he went by two different names, which I had to look into that. But yeah, he passed away from cancer, and he was 70. And then we have Nikki Cat, who I don't know if you guys have watched Dazed and Confused or Boston Public. She passed away at age 54. She died from suicide. And then we have Octavio Dotel, if I pronounce his name right. You guys that watch baseball probably would know how to pronounce his name.
That's it.
But he is a pitcher. He was a pitcher for the Astros and 12 other teams. But he did pass away. And this has got to be a horrible way of going. He actually died from getting injuries or sustaining injuries in a nightclub roof collapse. So I guess a roof ended up collapsing on him, and he got too injured for that. So he passed away. And then, we have Roy Thomas Baker, who was the record producer for groups like Queen, Smashing Pumpkins, even Ozzy Osbourne. It's still unknown how he passed away at age 78. And then we have finally Steve Mongo McMichael. James would know him as somebody who was in the Chicago Bears.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah.
And me and Chris would know him probably through the Bears, but also through WCW. Back in the 90s, he used to wrestle there too. He ended up passing away at age 67 from ALS, which also known as Lou Gehrig's disease. So, with all that being said, what is your guys' thoughts of everybody that I had mentioned? Because I mean that's a huge list for just almost a whole month. So we'll go ahead and start with James. What's your thoughts on all this?
Yeah, my dummy self didn't know why flags were half mast at a certain point. I think last week, but it was because of the Pope dying, and I didn't even know about it. I think till that night. No clue like what he did or whatever, other from being whatever. I knew of the athletes. I'm trying to remember the Dazed and Confused actress, but I was trying to remember Steve McMichael. I think he had the nickname Mongo from. I think it emulates from the movie Blazing Saddles. I think.
I don't know, but it was Steve Mongo McMichael.
Yeah, I think they got it from him because he was like big and hairy and would just destroy things. So I think that's where they got it from. I didn't even know he had a wrestling background. I didn't even know that until the stories came out about him, and I knew he was doing bad. Yeah, the drummer from Blondie, I know from a picture. It was just odd is that the two names and everything like you mentioned, but the fact that when you think of Blondie you think of just Debbie Harry, and then there's pictures of her with these four guys in suits and you realize, oh, it's one of them. Just all the cool people from music seem like they're passing, and there's always a rapper dying, sometime. Uh, I'm hoping they bubble wrap certain people, in the business. Uh, we've had some, like, I think social media people, like YouTube people, I've seen die from crazy things lately as well. But that's the only ones that I know of.
All right, thank you, James. And Chris, what is your comments about it?
Yeah, it's just crazy that we're losing, all these people, and yeah, we've been off for a few weeks, and I know it happens, but it's just still crazy that it does, and I guess most recently the Pope, on the day before he passed, I think it was Easter, he was seeing happy, healthy, or what we thought was healthy, or healthier than what it was, and it's kind of unexpected.
Yeah, definitely. Especially some of these were definitely unexpected. I mean, you even had Priscilla Pointer. Um, uh, she almost made it to her 101-year-old. She almost turned 101 because her birth date was 5/18, and she was born 5/18 of 1924, and she passed away 4/28 of 2025. So she
Wow.
almost made it to 101. So I mean that's pretty impressive as it is. So
Wow.
and so I mean and like we say, they're going to be, some of them are, or all of them, I guess I should say, because I don't want to single any of them out, but all of them are going to be missed. I knew about a few of them, some of them I didn't, but not to single anybody out. All of them actually will be missed one way or another. So, and then we're going to move on to celebrity news. I, I didn't really find much for celebrity news. I did end up getting writing a few things down, but not as much as I, usually do. And here's an interesting thing. So Star Wars, the Star War, I can't even talk. The Star Wars Rebel helmet. Um, I, you would think with it being a Rebel helmet, probably a couple grand, at least in my opinion. I mean, maybe you guys have a different opinion about it, but if you guys know what what the Rebel helmet is, I don't know if you guys watch Star Wars or not, but
It's been a while.
Mhm.
but anyway, in my mind, I'm thinking, okay, 2-3 grand, somebody's trying to sell it for. No, it actually is being sold for $200,000 to $400,000. So,
Uh,
and when I looked at this helmet, a picture of it, there was no gold on it. There was, just the fact that it may have been in the movie of Star Wars. I don't know if it was an actual replica either, but I thought that was kind of crazy. What's your guys' thought on that? I mean, would you go and spend $200,000 to $400,000 on some memorabilia, from a movie or something that you like?
I
Uh,
wouldn't. I mean, that's a lot of money. I'm good.
I figure you would, Chris, because of all the stuff behind you. But no, I see. With me, I don't even have, like, I don't go out there looking for stuff. I think probably, if it was something like Magic Johnson or Kobe Bryant or Walter Payton or something like that, I would. But a lot of the stuff I have, I either got from someone, but it wasn't worth anything. But Man, it would. Sheesh. I don't know if there's anything I would want from back then, just because, or from someone, just because. First of all, I don't know how I would treat it with my clumsy self. And then, yeah, spending on something I know that probably someone doesn't want if I try to resell it. So, yeah, I'd have to go with Chris.
But also too, if you're a collector that collects stuff like that, and you look around and you go, "Oh, that's cool," I should get that. But you look around and go, "Where am I going to put it?" You could have that decision.
Yeah. I have my other half, Sarah, sitting there going, yeah, she would spend that much money on something like Harry Potter or, you know, Labyrinth or, something like that. So, I mean, it just, I guess it all depends on the person and how much you're willing to spend in order to get something from, a movie or something. And then my mom is on here commenting, saying, "Hi guys, y'all are on late." She's like, and
Yeah.
then she's, thank you. Yeah, it's been a busy day, Mom, so that's why, we're on late. Yeah. End up having to go to Roseburg about hour and a half away. So right after work, and so it's been a very busy day. And then another news source I got, or news story. I don't know if you guys know Floribama Shore. It was like a spinoff from Jersey Shore, which
I've heard about it.
they did a terrible job. They couldn't compete with Jersey Shore. So anyway, the star from Floribama Shore, Kirk Metis. He is currently on a ventilator in ICU and has been hospitalized for weeks fighting necrotizing pancreatitis. So, he's from the way it sounds, he's not doing well either. Especially having any kind of pancreatitis. So, I mean, I never watched the show, but you don't want to see anybody die, and let alone something like this that they really have no control over. So, and then the last thing I have for the news is, so Joaquin Phoenix. I don't know if you guys know who he is. He's River Phoenix's brother. He was Johnny Cash on
Walk the line.
Yeah, on Walk the Line. But anyway, so Joaquin Phoenix got his car stolen on Monday. He had a 2022 Volvo SUV, which is worth $60,000. And he went in to go do something somewhere. He came out and it was gone. Yeah, because it happened this past Monday. The investigation's still going on about what's what's happening with that. But yeah, I mean, even I sure wouldn't want to take a celebrity's car because no, thank you. But and other than that, I mean, that's pretty much all I had. I mean, do you guys have any comments about that?
Yeah. I there seems to be so many more celebrities moving away from Hollywood and the LA area just because of this. The crime has just been worse and worse. And you mentioned the star from Floribama Shore was Kirk Metis.
Yeah.
So he passed away today at 33 from that
Oh,
illness.
did he? Oh.
He was 32 years of age. Yeah, it was put out on Facebook, but I confirmed it with the New York Post, among others. So
Wait, you have
just
connections with the New York Post?
no, it came up on Google
No,
when I
no.
was typing Florida Bama Shore because I've never seen it. I was a big Jersey Shore fan. Then I realized, well, I don't look good when I'm tanned, so I stopped watching that. And then they kept coming back for more and more, and I stopped watching. So I was never interested again in any type of shore. But they probably had an experience there, and the limelight and all that is just something that people will remember a little bit here and there. So yeah, Kirk Meadows died today at, well, this source saying 33 years of age.
Mhm.
Yeah, so and when I read that news report, I actually read it last night, so it kind of makes sense that that way. Um, so I mean that's all I have for news. I mean, have either one of you heard anything newsworthy that needs to be added?
I have not.
No, I have nothing really. There's celebrity breakups all the time. The Met
Yeah,
Gala was going on with people dressing like, like they're wearing Halloween costumes. But I have nothing after that.
yeah, and I mean you're right. It's been happening more and more. That's why I don't even bring it up at this point. I mean, if Taylor Swift and Travis Kelce ever broke up, I definitely would bring that out. But
Breaking news.
but other than that, I mean, they're splitting up all the time in Hollywood, so it's nothing really to even mention. Um, all right, so we're gonna go ahead and move on to Where Are They Now? That 70s show. Now, I think James, you mentioned that you have watched that 70s show.
Oh,
I think
yes.
I think Chris
Um,
did too.
Hmm.
I watched it on reruns because I wasn't allowed to watch it like when it was on. But I secretly watched the reruns, so I think I've seen all of them.
Oh, I have seen all of them. And I really like that show. I think they went a little too far when they did the spinoff and did that 90s show.
I think they did an '80s show too.
No,
Yeah,
that's
they
90
did, and
show.
that
They did a
that
90
was
show.
yeah they did an 80s show, and
I didn't watch either of them.
that didn't even succeed past the first few episodes. So
Hmm.
um but anyway, so where are they now? I have to bring something up real quick. When switching from topic to topic, I vision like a thing on the screen where it like turns, that says, where are they now as it's turning, saying, okay, anyway, too much game show. Anyway, I'm moving on that. So
Yes.
that's 70 show. We have Topher Grace, who everybody knows is Eric Foreman.
Gross.
The only thing that I could bring up was the fact that he's still acting, and he has been acting like on Spider-Man and all that. So then we have Laura Prepon, if that's how you pronounce it, who is Donna. Um, she is still acting and directing. She does have her own line of cookware, though, called Prepon Kitchen on Home Shopping Network. And she also is an author, bestseller list for her own book. Um, then we have Wilmer Valderrama. Hey, I said it right this time. Who was known as Fez on there. He's still acting, obviously, because he's on NCIS.
Hmm.
So, I mean, he's still acting to this day. A few things, though, that I did put was he's a global ambassador for the United Service Organization. And it works with other organizations as well, like Voto Latino, which I didn't look it up, but it's another organization that he deals with. He is also with Philanthropic, which you know, no idea what that is, but hey, I don't know everything. Um, so, but he's really active out there helping out with organizations. So that's pretty good of him to do, especially with how often he's acting. So, and then moving on to Ashton Kutcher, everybody knows as Michael Kelso. He was also in what was that movie?
Two and a Half Men.
No, the Just Married.
He was
I love that
he was
movie.
also in 2.5 Men.
Well, yeah, he was. But I was thinking of Just Married. Anyway, so he did act for a little while. He took a break so that he could spend time with his wife, Mila. Mila, who was also on the show. But he wanted to spend time. I guess they just remodeled their home. Now he's looking at making a comeback and wanting to be an actor, wants to act again. So, and right along Mila Kunis, who was Jackie, she's still acting, and she's still voice acting on Family Guy. So I don't think that's ever going to end as long as Family Guy's on, because she's really enjoying that.
Well, I think she plays Meg on there.
Mm-hmm.
Do what?
She plays Meg on there.
Yes, she plays Meg. And then we have Danny Masterson. Now, if anybody who knows Danny hasn't been paying attention, Danny Masterson is in prison. He, and he is serving a 30-year to life sentence in prison for things he did with two different women. And I guess now he's trying to have the charges overturned because his attorneys don't think that he received a fair trial. So now his attorneys are sitting there saying, well, he didn't receive a fair trial. They didn't, give the right information, whatever that the attorneys say it's not fair. So now they're looking at possibly doing a retrial. It should be interesting how that works out. But right now, he may never see. And he was actually transferred. He was in one of the prisons. I can't remember what the name of it was, but he was in one of the prisons, which is infamous for famous criminals.
Alcatraz?
No, although Alcatraz is nice on the outside, we got to see that. But no, it starts with a C though. But and then because of the fact that they didn't think that he was that much of a hardcore criminal, they moved him to another
The
prison.
California Men's Colony.
Yeah. So, but anyway, so yeah, it should be interesting how this turns out, if he actually ends up staying in there for 30 years to life, or they reverse the decision. So it should be interesting coming up. Then we have Deborah Jo Rupp, who's the mom, Kurtwood Smith, who's the dad, and Don Stark, who's Bob, all still acting to this day. I don't recall ever seeing anything after, besides that 90s show. Mm-hmm. They're all three on there. But other than that, I don't recall ever seeing them on anything else. And then we have Lisa Robin Kelly, who was Lori, the sister. She did pass away in August of 2013, at the age of 43. She died in her sleep due to accidental, unspecified oral multiple drug intoxication, and she died in a drug rehab facility. So, my question is, how did she get the drugs if she was in a rehab center? I mean, did they not pay attention to that or monitor? Or,
I'm gonna look that up.
uh, I was just told that she had just gotten in there and she was detoxing at the time, and that's when she died. So, which I mean, makes sense why they didn't have her on the show after a certain period of time, because of the fact she did pass away. And then the last person I have, I had to have him on here because I think he's funny. Tommy Chong, who was Leo on the show, and even to this day he's still acting. So, um, yeah, he's funny. I enjoy watching him, and I think that's one reason why I like watching the newer 70s show episodes, is because of the fact that he's on there and he's pretty funny. So,
Hey, man.
yeah, pretty much. And I mean, so I'm gonna ask this. Which one on that 70 show was your favorite? I've got to know.
Oh.
Since we all have seen that 70 show, I want to know who's.
I can't remember the actor's name, but the one with the glasses, the sunglasses.
The hell? Sunglasses.
I can't remember. Hold on, let me look it up.
Well, for me, it's Red. I always like Red. Kurtwood Smith. I think he was in. Oh God, what movie was it back in the day? But he's been in like space films, I think. But it's weird seeing him in anything else, right? I only know him as Red, where he likes putting feet in asses, and I just live by that moniker every day. So I think Red is my favorite just because of the way he would get enraged at whomever and whatever. He was called Fez the Foreign Kid. Hey, Foreign Kid. All the things I love. I think Red's my favorite. You know, Kelso. Oh, that's Danny Matherson.
Okay.
Oh yeah, Danny. Yeah,
That's the guy. He was cool though. Remember, he taught Jackie Mila Kunis to be cool. I always loved that part. You know, that's after me, Jackie and Michael Kelso broke up, and then Steven taught Jackie just to act cool. Anywhere they went, and then they got together. I think. I might know too much of the show, but I love the Leo parts. Oh my God, every damn show he was like, "Hey man," just about any damn thing. It was awesome. Then the fact that they grabbed characters from 70s shows or 80s shows. They were in the show at some point. Like when they were stuck in Canada and they couldn't get back to Wisconsin, the four guys, they had the SCTV guys from Canada play the, oh God, what the hell are they called? The
Mounties.
Mounties, yes, thank you. So they had those two play the Mounties, so it was perfect the way that they were playing them. So I like that. You have Tanya Roberts as Midge, the wife of, Bob, as the neighbors. It was Donna's mom. I always thought she looked great as her age, but it was tragic what happened to Lisa Robin Kelly. She was in a few things, but she always played the same role. But Red Foreman for me, just because of the rage that I have now for people.
All right, that's pretty cool. And Chris, you said Danny Masterson, Stephen Hyde was
Yeah.
your favorite. I have to go with Kelso. I do.
Brandon.
I really liked him. I thought he was funny. So that's my choice, Kelso. He kind of reminds me of me, or however that phrase is, but yeah. And then my mom writes and says, "I never saw the show, Mom. That show is something you wouldn't be interested in. I'm just letting you know that now." So I'm saving you the time and all that. But all right. So we're gonna go ahead and move on from that. We're gonna go to movie facts. Step Brothers. I didn't find anything really interesting about Step Brothers. That they said that Derek, who was
Adam Scott.
Will Ferrell's brother on the movie. They said that they were trying to get a couple different guys to play Derek, but because Derek had to sing, it wasn't gonna turn out correctly. So, I mean, not a big celebrity missed out on anything. Um, and then the Catalina wine mixer towards the end of the movie, they at first wanted to go and have it on the island of Catalina. And then the co-producer and writers like, no, we're just gonna have it on the we're gonna have it on the coast, and
I didn't know that.
yeah, they made sure that the Catalina island was in the background to make it look like they were there, but
Okay.
they weren't on it. They so yeah, they did it on the California coast though.
Wow.
But the co-writer and director Adam McKay actually wanted this movie to be a drama. He didn't want it to be a comedy movie. He wanted straight up drama. And then all of a sudden, I don't know if it was Will Ferrell or John C. Riley, one of those guys, talked him into making it a comedy. So,
Probably Will Ferrell.
Will Ferrell was a writer along with Adam McKay to get it done.
Yeah, he was. The movie had a budget of $65 million. They actually made $128.1 million off of it. So they made some money off of it. And the only other thing I have about that movie is Will Ferrell actually sings, and Riley actually plays the drums. So they didn't have any stand-ins or anything like that. And Will Ferrell really sucks at singing, and they enjoyed the fact that he's terrible at it. So, so yeah, it's all John C. Riley and Will Ferrell doing that thing at the mixer and all that. So, and that's all I have for Step Brothers. For facts, it wasn't that great of facts, but I put it in there. Now I have a few questions for you guys. First one is, when listening to music, whether if it's a CD, media device, whatever, do you guys prefer live music or studio music, which would have no fans in the background? Chris, you first.
I'd probably go with studio music. It's easier to listen to. And to me, I think it sounds more, I wouldn't say authentic, but I just think it's just better sounding.
Yeah, I totally agree with that, James.
You know, I love this question because I get this question a lot. Um, I hate live music, like live songs. The people don't sound the same. The crowd, it's cool when they sing along and all that, but I'm not really here for that. I think the Google Dolls had a scene like that where Jeremy Roenick, I think is his name, is singing, and then it's in the rain, and then everybody just sings Iris with him. I think it's just the coolest thing. But for me, yeah, I prefer the studio. I prefer how it really should sound.
Same.
Uh, I I don't know. It's just a preference of mine. Now there are um, sometimes where, if anybody remembers or knows, when MTV had the Unplugged, some of the greatest
Hmm.
acapella songs were made from that. Like Pearl
That's
Jam
fine.
did it, Nirvana did it, Stone Temple Pilots did it, 10,000 Maniacs did it. God, who else? There was just a bunch of people, bunch of bands and groups or performers that did a cappella, and it just sounded wonderful. That Unplugged in New York for Nirvana, it's one of the best selling albums ever. And it was just an experiment that MTV had. So I guess it really depends on, you know, just how it sounds, and then especially if it's a remake. Um, and there's a rare time where the remake is better than the original, and you'll get that a lot with the live versions of songs.
And even sometimes a CD will come with a live performance of a song.
It's always the ending ones, yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely. And I personally like the studio version of it. There's only a few times where I actually enjoyed the live version because you've got Garth Brooks' Thunder Rolls with the extra verse. You have Friends in Low Places with the extra verse. I do enjoy that, but other than that, the music quality and the sound is so much different when it's live than it is in the studio part of it. And if I want live, I'll go to the concert itself.
Hmm.
I really don't want to hear live when I'm listening to music that's not at
Or
the concert.
or if it aired on TV.
Well, yeah,
Yeah.
but if you're sitting there listening to the radio or CD or something, or Spotify, whatever, and you want to listen to songs, generally you're not going to want to hear the live version of it because then you have the fans in the background and it kind of gets irritating. Um, and then another question I have is, uh, if you are having a rough day, would you rather sit in silence or drive, whatever you end up doing, or listen to music while you're sitting there or driving? So, would you rather be around silence or listen to music if you're having a rough day?
Ooh.
Go ahead, James.
This is too personal for me because after work today, I was at the gym and I had a horrible day. So this is just crazy how it adds up here. I need music in my life. And if I don't have it, if I'm having silence or something buffers, I'm like pissed off instantly. So yeah, it's the latter. I need music or a podcast or something all the damn time. I am never silent when it comes
Hmm.
to anything like that. I can never sit in silence. The worst thing is just sitting there or laying there in silence because I have these horrible, horrible thoughts of what I've done wrong in life or what could happen wrongfully. And I just can't live with that. So I have to be listening to something.
All right, and Chris.
Yeah, I'm kind of in the same boat. I need something, whether it's music, podcast, something on TV, movie, TV show. I don't know. I just need something on, something going. I don't like sitting in quiet too much. I don't want to hear my own thoughts. If I can help it, or stuff like that. So I gotta have something going.
Yeah, I get that. I'm the same way. You know, I don't want to hear my own thoughts. Um, yeah, mine would be music as well. Sometimes it's rare for it to be quiet, but most of the time it is about wanting to listen to music. My mom commented and said studio music. I can listen to the music without the headache. Yeah, yeah, mom can't deal with a lot of loud noises, so. And then she says, listen to music. So, I mean, she's agreeing with all of us on that. And the last question I had was when going to sleep, do you fall asleep to music, TV, or silence? We'll start with Chris on this one.
I'm kind of reverse on this one. Quiet, silence. I mean, I can sleep with something going on audio wise or something like that, but most of the time it's silence.
Man, for me, it goes back to the question before. I can't have silence because again, all those thoughts of what has gone wrong will come up. So I have to have music, soft music. Obviously, I'm not going to put corn on when I'm trying to go to sleep. What was
Well,
interesting?
no.
Could you imagine that? Actually, today, or I'm sorry, this morning, I actually got some good sleep, and I left the TV on, but I put music on. It's just the weirdest thing to do that. But YouTube has it, and then the cable company has that music choice, so I just go with the softest music. But normally, I have music going, and it's dark. So today was weird when I was talking about sleep. Today was weird. So yeah, I have to have something going. No silence.
Yeah, I'm pretty much the same way. It's harder for me to sleep when it's silent because because I'm a light sleeper most of the time.
Me too.
So if I hear some noise in the background and there's no music, then I tend to wake up. And I've done the whole TV thing where I fall asleep to the TV and let the TV go. Uh, you know, but then all of a sudden, it depends on the program I'm watching. I would watch something funny, even though I've seen it a billion times. I still think it's funny. So when I'm trying to lay there and go to sleep, that would be a bad idea. And so I'd rather listen to music than anything else. And then my mom commented and said TV, nice shows. Well, yeah, Mom, you fall asleep during wrestling. Um, so,
I would too.
well, yeah. Anyway, so yeah, but my thing would definitely be music playing in the background, and then every once in a while my brain will start singing whatever
That's
song.
true. That is true.
And
Yeah.
and and then all of a sudden I have to stop myself going, okay, I'm trying to go to sleep, stop singing in my head, and yeah. Anyway, um, so I just I was picking these topics last night at like 2 a.m. at work, so that's why they're kind of off wall, this time around. Um,
I love it.
so,
Me.
huh?
Go ahead, Jay.
What was?
No,
what
I
was
say
that?
I love these topics because they relate right to me. Just today, both of them hit me right there.
Yeah.
I have a question, Dragon Viper, or me and James
Okay.
do. Who would you put in your top 5 people versus what was it, a gorilla? You heard
Wait.
that trend?
Wait. What?
There's a trend going around of like 100 people versus a gorilla or something like that.
I've never heard of that. That's kind of weird.
It's a meme going around.
Oh, well, I'm sure if it's going around, I'll eventually end up seeing it. Oh, yeah, I don't know. That's kind of weird. Oh, and then mom says that's not fair. I have narcolepsy. Well, I knew that, but I was just pointing out that you'll fall asleep during wrestling. So of course you're gonna fall asleep during watching TV. Um, but all right, and now we're gonna move on to celebrity birthdays. I know this is James's favorite. It's Chris's favorite. So we're gonna go ahead and go on that. I don't have a lot of people because again, 2 a.m. I'm at work. I was trying to do stuff at work too. So first off, we're starting off with The Rock. Now,
What?
everybody knows The Rock, so
I don't.
Lay it down and smack now. I'm just kidding.
You mean the tooth fairy?
Oh, I'm gonna say 58.
50. Crap. 52.
wow, James nailed it. 52 years old today. So
You know how I did it though? I literally put like, okay, maybe he was 22 in 1995 when he was a senior playing football at the University of Miami. Then I thought, okay, 30 years later, 52.
but yeah, I remember a segment on Monday Night Raw where Mick Foley was doing it.
Oh,
This
yes.
Rock, and all of a sudden he said Mankind did something about his birthday, and Rock stood there and said, my birthday is May 2nd. So yeah. So I remember that segment. It was funny.
He brought out his, what was his teacher?
Yeah, brought out his home ec teacher and his coach and his ex-girlfriend from high school. Anyway, and then we have Ari Lehman, who is the original Jason in Friday the 13th.
62.
64.
Actually, he turned 59. So then we have soccer player and soccer star David Beckham, who is also married, if anybody knows, married to Victoria Posh Spice. Yeah, when I was a teenager, I was so jealous about that. But yeah, so David Beckham.
I want to say 50.
53.
He's actually 49.
Oh,
Yeah.
Which surprises me that he's 49 because I figured he was in his 50s too, like 53, 54, but no, he's
I was one off.
he's actually 49. And then we have the I don't know if you guys know who this group is, but Foreigner.
Yeah,
I've heard the name.
The lead singer Lou Graham.
I think they have the song called "Feels Like the First Time." I can't remember.
About right.
No, isn't it? I'll just say 74.
72.
Chris?
Yes.
Got it. Did you already answer?
72.
Well, James
72.
is like hitting everything on the head. Well, that's the second time he's hit an actual age on the head. Yes, 74. So, and mom was close with 75. So.
Waiting for a Girl Like You. That's one of Foreigner's his songs. That's it.
And then we have, and I don't know if you guys know these people, but I know my mom does. The Gatlin brothers, Larry Gatlin,
No idea.
pretty. And I did this one because I know mom knows who the Gatlin brothers are. They're country, older country music.
87.
89.
No idea.
Wow, Chris, no.
I'm not that far off. I'm not far off from you. Come on.
No. 76.
Whoops.
89. No, that
Yeah,
was
my
good.
bad.
I like and then I don't know if you guys watched X Factor before they went to Europe. But this guy is now the lead singer for Stone
I think it
Temple
started-
Pilots. Huh?
I was gonna say, I think they started in the UK, then they brought it here.
Yeah, well, yeah, they brought it here, and then America, they quit having it in America or something. But anyway, and he's the lead singer for Stone Temple Pilots. The new lead singer, Jeff Goot.
I don't even know who that is because after what's his name died, Waylon died. I didn't hear another song from them. So I would just say 54.
51.
Chris is closer. Actually, 48. So, yeah, no.
Okay, maybe go a few backwards.
Well, when he was on X Factor, I thought he was really good. He's a really good singer. So, and then mom knows this guy. I don't think you guys do, but country singer Ty Herndon. Like he does the song "That's My Truck," "Living in a Moment," or that ain't my truck. What am I thinking? I'm tired. But yes, "That Ain't My Truck" or "Living on a Moment" are two of his songs.
That just sounds like such a generic title for a country song from back then.
Yeah, from the 90s. Yeah.
That ain't my truck.
You're having your
52.
teenage old moment.
I'm gonna go make a remake of that right now. 52.
Actually, what'd you say, Chris?
50.
Both of you are off. Actually, 62.
That ain't my age.
Not my age. Now,
Yeah,
this
the
next
one
guy,
hit song.
this next guy, I want to punch in the face.
McAfee.
Chris knows who has an
He already
idea of
said
who
it.
this is. Huh?
James already said it.
What?
McAfee.
Yes.
Now, will I get it wrong though? Because his birthday was today, but I swore I heard it, and then I went back to sleep.
I cannot stand him. He needs to go away and do his podcast somewhere else and stop talking on WWE.
38.
39.
James is closer. 37.
No! See, I got it wrong.
Hey, Dragon Viper.
What?
Watch Backlash on May 10th. He's gonna
Yeah,
go
I know.
against Gunther.
He's gonna face Gunther. Yeah, I don't care
That's
about
what I've
either.
heard. Whenever that segment comes up, I always switch it. I always turn it to something else on YouTube.
Yeah,
But
I
did
would
you-
too.
He got attacked, supposedly.
Right, I saw that part.
Yeah, no,
They had to make Dragon Viper happy.
yeah, it would make me happier if it was somebody
Goodbye,
I
Mom.
actually liked that was attacking him. But, anyways, moving on. That we can save that for a different show.
Yeah.
And then the final one for today is Packers player AJ Dillon.
Wow, that's random. 29.
31.
James was closer at 26.
Oh my god, I aged him too long. Whoops a daisy.
No, I did too, though.
And then I have two for tomorrow. Country singer Eric Church.
Wow.
I haven't heard that name in a while.
48.
47.
Um,
49.
James, you know, are you reading my notes or something?
No, I
Because
just guessed it, and I haven't
that-
heard that name in forever.
that's like 3 times tonight that you've actually been right on with someone's age. So that's why I'm like, are you looking this up? Or you?
But you know what's funny though? The show I watch every weekday, the McAfee show, I get that one wrong. But the three that you mentioned, I get right. That's
I
just
would
weird.
get everything wrong with McAfee. Anyway,
I think McAfee is wrong.
Anyway, and then the last birthday I have for tomorrow is Frankie Valli, who was the lead singer for
Wow.
Seasons and sang "Big Girls Don't Cry."
And what's the other one? Can't take my eyes off you.
Yes.
I heard you, baby, and if it's quite alright. Da, da, da,
I haven't
da.
heard that song in a while. Man.
I have a range that is dangerous. God, he's got to be like. Yikes. Jeez. I'm trying to put the math
Like,
together when that song was and then to now. He's got to be like 85.
87.
Actually, Chris was closer. 91.
Jesus.
It's
It's right, though. Yeah.
He's
'cause-
gonna be 91 years old tomorrow. So yeah, I only know a couple other songs. "Big Girls Don't Cry" is one of them because it was always playing on the oldie station.
Mhm.
And Mom, I'm not calling you old. I'm just saying the station is old. So, but anyway, I digress. Anyway, so that's all the celebrity birthdays I was able to get. And we'll have to try again next time and see if James can beat his 3 times getting
It'll
it
be
right.
2 next week.
All right, and then we're gonna move on to our last topic, our 10 or less topics. We have Bruce Willis, Christina Ricci, and Usher. So, I don't know if you guys have your topics or your topics.
I do for Bruce. I only know like 6 or 7, I would think.
But go ahead and say what they are there.
Okay, so for me, my favorite Bruce Willis movie is Armageddon. I really, really like that one. The second one is Fifth Element, and then the third is Pulp Fiction. Fourth is The Last Boy Scout. The fifth would be, and I didn't even know he's in this, but Beavis and Butthead Do America. Six is Mercury Rising. I actually remember watching that. Seventh is The Kid. I thought that was a fun little movie there. The eighth is Charlie Angel's Full Throttle. Ninth is Sin City. I didn't see much of it, but I remember him in that. Probably 10, I would say, is an older one. And yeah, it's Look Who's Talking. I've never seen Die Hard, but I know that's probably one I'm missing.
Wow, I've never seen Die Hard.
Mm-mm.
It's a Christmas movie. Anyway, moving on from that one. No, we're not starting a debate right now.
Welcome to Winter Debate.
Yeah. And yes, he was in Beavis and Butthead Do America because he was the boyfriend of
Okay.
the woman. Yeah, I'm not getting further into explaining it, but yeah,
Mhm.
he did play. He was the voice of that woman's boyfriend. or ex-husband or something like that. All right, Chris, your turn.
We're doing Bruce Willis, right?
Yes.
Okay, making sure. Since you didn't add a James, I will. Die Hard.
Mm-hmm.
Pulp Fiction. The Sixth Sense. Die Hard with a Vengeance. I'm guessing that's the second one. We'll go Unbreakable. Fifth Element. Looper. Uh, Moonrise Kingdom. And Red.
Yeah, definitely some good movies there. And Mom commented and said Die Hard is a good movie. It actually is. And then mine, I'm gonna have to say Red 2. 1 and 2. Cop Out with Tracy Morgan. That was really good. Um, what just happened with Robert De Niro? And then other like Die Hard. I mean, I know it was mentioned, but yeah, Die Hard's a really good movie. Bandits, um, The Kid, The Sixth Sense, Armageddon, Mercury Rising, Beavis and Butthead to America, because I think it's that show alone is just hilarious. Look Who's Talking, and I'd have to go with Pulp Fiction if I can talk. So I mean that's my list pretty much. Oh, and The Last Boy Scout, can't miss that one. So with Damon Wayans. So, and then we're going on to Christina Ricci. So I mean, I haven't seen a lot of her movies, but I have seen a few. Go ahead, Chris.
So my list is The Addams Family, 1991 edition. And I guess a spin-off from 93, Addams Family Values. Ice Storm. Monster. Casper. Sleepy Hollow. Buffalo 66. And you have Now and Then.
All right, for me, so man, there were some movies I forgot about, but I really loved. This might be controversial, but I love the first one is That Darn Cat. That movie I will love forever. Second is Small Soldiers. Third is Casper, and then fourth is Adam's Family. I didn't see the Values one, so I'm out on that one. After that, I honestly don't remember her in anything else I've seen. It's all like the older movies, and then she changed her hair, and she was just unrecognizable after a while. So that's the only ones that I have for her.
Okay. Yeah. See, I was watching Casper when it first came out.
Mhm.
I remember having, and it came out in 1995. And I remember having a birthday party because me and my younger brother usually would combine our birthdays because we were 2 weeks apart. Our birthdays were 2 weeks apart. And so we'd split, combine it. On top of that, I was born, barely under 2 days before Halloween. So we would have a birthday party, combined birthday party, and Halloween party all in the same night. One of the things we did watch was Casper, and Christina back then in '95 is one of the reasons why I did watch Casper. So, and I continuously would watch it. So, yeah, I'm gonna say Casper. Adam's Adam's Family, Fear and Loathing in Las Vegas. Um, and then I also have, Sleepy Hollow with Johnny Depp. Almost forgot his name. Um, and then with Samuel L. Jackson, Black Snake Moan. I thought that was a pretty good movie with her in it. And I mean, I really haven't seen much more than that because, when you're a kid and you have a crush on a celebrity, you kind of grow out of it. And I did. So I didn't watch much more of hers than that. But yeah, Casper for the longest time was actually one of my favorites. But yeah, so I mean, there's my list for that. And then our last list, Usher. Usher, I love his music. I really do. But go ahead and say your list there, James.
Okay, this one I had a tough time with, but I'll go from 10 to 1. All right. So number 10 for me is Same Girl. I almost forgot about it until I looked it up, but it's the duet with R. Kelly, which I haven't said that name in years, but well, there's a reason why, but that song is awesome.
Yeah.
Literally, the video is like they're going out with the same girl and they don't know it, and then they see each other and like, oh, you're with her too? Oh, okay, whatever. Number 9 is You Make Me Wanna whatever. Number 8 is Nice and Slow. That's actually too low now that I look at it. But that's that whole thing, the start of it. It's 7 o'clock on the dot. I'm in the drop top. And people will ask you, where's Usher at 7 o'clock on the dot? And he's in his drop top. Anyway, number 6 is number 7 is My Boo. Number 5 is Caught Up. Number 5 is You Don't Have to Call. Number 4 is Burn. Number 3 is You Got It Bad. Number 2 is Confessions Part 2. And then my favorite Usher song is You Remind Me. It was tough making that list, but I put it together, and I think I am good with that. But I might move Nice and Slow higher. But it just depends what mood I'm in.
Yeah, that's a good list, and most of those songs I did happen to hear. All right, Chris, go ahead.
I guess I don't really listen to a lot of Usher songs, so we'll go with Yeah featuring Little John and Ludacris. That's really the only one I got.
That's a good song too. I really enjoy it. And here's a little known fact: Usher is in She's All That, but he went by his actual name of Raymond Usher. So yeah, little known fact if you didn't know, Usher actually was in She's All That before he became big and famous singer known as Usher. But mine, is Yeah. And then of course, Love in the Club, good song from him. You Got It Bad, definitely good song. Burn. And then You Remind Me. And then Confessions Part 2. Yeah, another good one. Another favorite of mine. And I mean that's pretty much the songs that I've heard from Usher that I like. So yeah, he's a good singer. I really enjoy it. Enjoy his music. And yeah, he's not a bad, with his lyrics and everything. He's not that bad of a singer. So, yeah. Anyway, I'm going to quit rambling because I've been up for a long time. But anyway, we're going to go ahead and close this out. Chris, any last words?
Yeah, thanks everyone for watching, tuning in, commenting. Love doing the show. Love all the shows we have here. Just stay tuned for all of our shows.
Thank you, Chris. And James.
Yeah, it's good to be back on this show. I couldn't come up with better topics than Dragon Viper did tonight. That was good. So I'm gonna try to figure out how to sleep tonight and the way I'm gonna sleep tonight because of that. Me and Chris will have on deck the baseball show. Let's just say in probably tomorrow, I would think, Chris. This is getting later, of course. So we'll do it tomorrow live. So look out for that. I'm sure you guys will have Between the Ropes, I think, sometime.
Yep.
Tomorrow?
Sunday night.
Sunday
night.
Yeah.
Sunday. That's fine.
So keep watching that.
No. It's Sunday.
Sunday.
Yeah, all right. And thank you, James. And it's like what Chris said. Thank you for commenting, Mom. And we do look forward to the comments and enjoy them. And thank you everybody for watching. And I mean, that's pretty much all I've got. Hopefully we'll get to see everybody next week, and hopefully I'll stop rambling. But anyway, I hope everybody has a good night, and I'm out.